Howdy folks, or should I say greetings comrades, because today we're going Russian. And welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. And welcome back to Maltese Knight, who is the star of today's show. And today he is sailing the Soviet Tier 10 battleship, the Sibir. If it helps, you can think of the Sibir as a sort of further development of the Sovietsky Soyuz, except at Tier 10 and with 18-inch guns. 9 of them in 3 turrets. And of course, it also has a funny button, because what ship doesn't these days? However, the funny button on this thing is... well, it's not as blatantly overpowered as the funny buttons on certain other ships released in the last couple of months. Bremen, Hawaii. In the case of the Sibir, it kind of compensates by allowing you to use what the ship is good at in order to buff what the ship is not that good at. And what the ship is not good at, surprisingly, is making effective use of those 9 18-inch guns. They're not bad guns. I mean, they're 18-inch, so tons of penetration, lots of range, 19.5 kilometers, lots of damage. The accuracy, however, is highly questionable. What the ship undisputably is good at, however, is brawling. The Sibir does like to get in close and tank you with its face, and it's assisted in doing this by stronger than average belt armour and distinctly un-Russian, i.e. good, secondaries. It also has a damage repair party that's time-based rather than charge-based. You get 100 seconds of use, you can turn it on and off at will, although it must be activated for a minimum of 14 seconds. Once the 100 seconds of use is used up, it's done. And rather than having a number of charges on its damage control party in the same way as other Russian battleships, the Sibir just has the standard damage control party on a cooldown that almost every other battleship has. So the way the funny button works is that when you charge it up, and we'll talk about how you charge it up in just a second, it buffs the accuracy of these 18-inch main battery guns. Because remember, the only real downside to this ship, because it's tough, it's fast, it's got 18-inch guns and lots of secondaries, is the inaccuracy of the 18-inch guns. The 18-inch guns that just scored a double citadel on a Hindenburg. Yeah. On paper, seriously, these guns are terrible. I mean, they're not terrible, but with a 1.7 Sigma rating, I mean, you know, that's not good at all. Can he do it again? Oh, he's lost sight of the Hindenburg. Well, never mind, there's another cruiser for him to shoot at, and the guns are almost reloaded. They do have a kind of slow reload, by the way, 33 seconds, which, you know, it's not... we're not talking USS Vermont standards of having to wait an ice age between gun reloads, but still, 33 seconds isn't great. Another citadel. Remember, these guns are bad. Oh, anybody can get lucky. Let's not judge a book by the cover. But again, I will finally at some point explain exactly what that funny button does. Once you charge it up, it buffs the accuracy of the 18-inch guns by 20%. So the ship's only real weakness, the alleged inaccuracy, and they are, honestly, they are, the Sigma rating is awful, becomes not a problem. And you charge the funny button up by taking damage and scoring hits with the secondaries. Mostly by scoring hits with the secondaries. For every secondary gun battery hit, you get 3% of the funny button charge. And for every 1,000 hit points of potential damage taken, you get 0.05% of funny button charge. So it's basically more down to scoring hits with the secondaries, which means you need to get in and brawl. Fortunately, this ship is very good at getting in and brawling. The side armour plating in the forward section is up to 150mm thick. Oh, you don't want to be... honestly, at that kind of range. That's got to be a spanking of... yep, that was in fact a spanking of epic proportions. Triple citadel with 18-inch armour piercing. And it kind of looks like the Schlieffen's feeling lucky, because he's still giving broadside. Maybe he's trusting to this 33-second reload. Wow. Really? Did you see what just happened? Do you really want to get your... no, he's turning away. Okay, this might be enough to save him, actually. I mean, the Schlieffen is a battle cruiser rather than a battleship, so its armour isn't great, but it's... yeah, it was good enough. Notice that the funny button is now fully charged. And again, it's more to do with the fact that Maltese Knight has enemy ships within secondary range, as you can see, rather than the potential damage that he's taken. He's lost sight of the Schlieffen. Thanks to the Napoli smokescreen and the fact that it's been more than 20 seconds since he fired, the Schlieffen's lost sight of him as well.
Torpedoes, direct front.
The Napoli is now finding out the hard way
Torpedoes,
that smokescreens are in fact torpedo magnets. Oh, there's the Schlieffen. Ah, he was on the border. I'm pretty sure those shots were not locked on at the point of fire. He did, however, score 4 over penetrations. 4 hits on a target that you weren't locked onto. And this is without the funny button active. It's charged up, but he hasn't actually triggered it yet. Honestly, I don't think he's really going to need to. Because that Schlieffen is dead meat. The second these guns reload. 9 shots out. I think 1 penetration will be enough. Yep. First, well not first blood, but Maltese Knight's first kill. Right, who wants some? All together or one at a time? It's all the same. Oh, hello, that's a nice broadside you've got there, Mr. Belfast. Ah, more torpedoes. Who are those from? What's the range on the Schlieffens? You know what, doesn't matter. He's dodged them. Now then, Belfast. Lovely broadside you got there. Be a real shame if someone has spank it. Funny button active now, by the way, because he wants to make sure, yep, request approved. You got him. The one downside of the funny button, as the Hindenburg, who apparently didn't learn his lesson earlier, comes out showing broadside. The one downside of the funny button is that it only has an action time of 33 seconds. So unless you trigger it precisely when you fire the guns, or you've taken damage and you can take advantage of the adrenaline rush skill, you're probably not going to get to use it twice on the same, although maybe, yeah, we're going to say he did. Honestly, I think it was literally just active when he managed to get the guns reloaded again for the second salvo. Either way, that's an ex-Hindenburg kill number. Oh, that's why he came out giving broadside. He was didn't calculate the range correctly, though, did he? Although, those are going to have been the torpedoes on the port side. He did pull a 180 and might have gotten torpedoes away from the starboard side, and those will be in range. So, need to keep an eye open on those. Although they might hit the Napoli first, which wouldn't be good. Well, it wouldn't be good for the Napoli. It wouldn't be terrible for Maltese Knight. In fact, it even looks like he's deliberately starting to... No, is he using the Napoli as a torpedo shield just in case? Because it kind of looks like he is. It could just be one of life's happy little accidents. Either way, he is, isn't he? No, if the Hindenburg had launched torpedoes, we would have seen them by now. It's all good. So he's going to haul ahead of the Napoli here. Get the guns firing and those enemy ships around the corner. Secondary's focused on the Jean Bart, and rather than trying to delete the cruiser, he's going for the Jean Bart. Looks like he's trying to knock its gun turrets in. Bit of team play there. Rather than farming kills, he's going for the thing that's most dangerous to the teammates around him. Good to see in a battleship. Don't see it often. The Talon back there is getting spanked by, I don't know, what looks like the Napoli maybe. So the Talon's probably not long for this world, although, well, I mean, you can't blame him for going for a cheeky kill, really, can you? It is reducing the number of guns firing back. And he's, yeah, kill denied. I say that's what you get for being greedy. But he is successfully tanking damage here from the Jean Bart B, who is not enjoying being subjected to this withering hail of secondary gunfire. And of course, it's not just the secondaries. That is a lot of incoming fire. He's not having a lot of fun there at all, is he? Here comes the Vermont, though. And he's very, very close. And he has big guns too. And he's got a lot more of them. And he's not giving broadside. Aims for the cheek section of the bows. Unfortunately, it's a Vermont, not a Yamato. He's rewarded with 9 hits. Every one of which bounces. Well, shit. How are you going to get out of this one, Rommel? I mean, on the bright side, the Jean Bart's dead. And you do at least have a faster reload than the Vermont. And a much faster ship as well. So, pedal to the metal. Trying to beat not just the Vermont's reload, but also its turret rotation. Going for that broadside. Boom! Headshot! 6 citadels. Yeah, that'll do it. 259,000 damage. Who's that cheeky bugger shooting at somebody over there on the port side? Who was that? Well, Maltese Knight's going to find out, and then he's going to punish them. In the meantime, if you've been paying attention to chat, since about 2 minutes into the battle, the friendly Bayard, and I use the word friendly in the broadest possible sense of the word, has been doing nothing but whine about the performance of the friendly Cossack. Now, I don't know what the Cossack's been doing. The Bayard and the Cossack were both at the far other end of the battlefield, so we haven't been able to see what they were getting up to. But let's just quickly fact check this situation. The Cossack is a tier 8 destroyer in this tier 10 battle. So a tier 8 destroyer, a pretty good tier 8 destroyer, but still tier 8. Oof. And there's the Kraken Unleashed. Yet more Citadel. But yes, a tier 8 destroyer in a tier 10 battle with an aircraft carrier in play on each team and multiple radars. That's a tough situation for any destroyer. Even worse if you're just tier 8. Now, I don't know exactly what the Cossack was doing that's upset the Bayard so much. I know that he outlived the Bayard, and if you rewind the battle, you can have a look and see that he was at least attempting to contest the cap circle up in the northeast at Charlie, but was forced out by the presence of enemy radar and other enemy destroyers. So I couldn't see him doing anything especially stupid. But again, I wasn't there, the Bayard was. None of which is the point. Because even if the Cossack was acting like a bit of an idiot, but I'll guarantee you one thing, even without seeing what happened up there and knowing exactly what the Cossack did to upset the Bayard, I will guarantee you, being a dick to somebody over chat in the middle of a battle, for whatever reason, has never suddenly and miraculously improved their standard of gameplay. Do you know what does? Not all the time, but at least some of the time, which is better than never, taking the time to explain to them what they're doing wrong and how they could do better in future. You know, I'm just planting seeds here. You never know, some of them might actually take root. I mean, realistically, I know, probably not, but like I said, maybe is better than never. Oh, check this out, explain this one to me. There's a shot coming down, it's going to hit the bridge. Ping, did you see that ricochet? That was no ricochet, that was 4 overpens and a penetration. Remember kids, you heard it here first. That's not a ricochet. That was a penetration, or perhaps an over-penetration. Honestly, this game's left hand just doesn't know what its right hand is doing. There's just sometimes such a clear and obvious disconnect between what you can see happening and what the game is telling you is happening. Well, anyway, the Montana's in the shit now. He's inside secondary range. The team are technically losing, by the way. I mean, they're ahead by 1 kill. But they're behind by 200 points. And because the enemy team have 1 more cap circle, and have basically had 2 cap circles the entire game, that points difference is getting worse, not better. Still, I mean, you know, it doesn't matter how many points you are ahead. If you lose all your ships, you lose. That Montana's broadside, however, has been proving surprisingly resilient. You know, there was a time when that thing was basically the tier 10 battleship equivalent of the USS Omaha cruiser, which is infamous as being the poster child for ships that explode if you so much as look at them funny. But the Montana, and for that matter the Iowa as well, both had their citadels buffed or lowered. Now that doesn't mean it's difficult to citadel a Montana, notwithstanding current evidence, because I don't think he scored 1 on this guy. But it's not as easy as it used to be, and we're going back quite a while now, to actually citadel a Montana with large caliber or even medium caliber armor piercing. Which is kind of weird, because he's been pumping shots into this guy, and he's had nice big flat broadsides to shoot at, and he's had the funny button active, and he just hasn't managed to find his citadel. Is he finally going to get lucky? Yes! Only the one though. Oh, come on. How many hit points? Go gadget secondaries. There it is. The fires from the secondaries finished him. It's kind of ironic that he only really managed to score that single citadel on the Montana, despite having multiple broadside angles to shoot at. And then all the ships with the protected citadels. I mean, 16 citadels scored, only one of them against the broadside Montana. Oh, whoa, okay, no longer an issue. It's kill number 7. Now, I have to ask the question, and clearly Maltese Knight is asking himself the question, based on how he's manoeuvring here, why would a Yugamo blunder into detection range? And it can only be, logically, that he wanted to get his extremely powerful torpedoes away and give you the least possible chance of being able to avoid them. Where are the torpedoes? There are no torpedoes. So the logical explanation is not the explanation, which leaves us with only one possible explanation. Sudden and fatal rush of shit to the brain on the behalf of the Yugamo captain. He done screwed up. And yet, I mean, it's a measure of just how far behind Maltese Knight's team have been this entire game, that with only 2 enemies remaining, his team are still behind on points. This is not, however, an episode of A Game of Thrones. I mean, realistically, looking at the score and the time remaining, it was never going to be. The enemy team are only 50 points ahead, barely even that now. And Maltese Knight's team have finally taken the central cap circle at Bravo. So the enemy team, even if they could run the clock out for the next 3 minutes and 40 seconds, they would no longer have that points advantage unless they can start killing things or retake that central cap. And while it's not out of the question that they could kill something, there's no way they're taking that central cap. Not now. If you look at the map, the enemy destroyer, all the way down there to the southwest, is trying to take on the friendly carrier. Oh, we all love an optimist, don't we? Oh, you sweet summer child, where have you been for the last 2 years? Good luck with that. Let me know how you get on. You know, there was a time in this game, and I'm not making this up, it was 100% true, although you have to go back a very long time, that if you were in an aircraft carrier and I was in a destroyer on the enemy team, you were going to die. You were going to die and I was going to torpedo you. That's just the way the cookie crumbled. Of course, it's been a very long time since that happened, and it was in fact the friendly Bismarck coming to the assistance of the carrier who finished off the enemy split. And there goes the Puerto Rico, finished off by the secondaries of the Napoli. So that is nearly 410,000 damage. And count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kills with 16 Citadel hits on these allegedly inaccurate guns. For Maltese Knight in the Sibir. 3,259 base experience. Good job. And you know what? The Cossack didn't do too badly. He's right there in the middle of the team table. Honestly, I don't know what he was doing that upset the Bayards so much, but it can't have been that bad. Anyway, the Sibir. It's a funny button, Jim, but not as we know it. Rather than certain other ships that got released recently, the Sibir's funny button doesn't break the game. It just compensates for what is allegedly this ship's biggest weakness. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Maybe he just got lucky. Maltese Knight in the Sibir. We've featured him before. We'll probably feature him again. Link in the description to his YouTube and Twitch channels. Thanks for sending this in. Congratulations on the result. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as they say in Soviet Russia, до свидания, comrades.